guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled A Crazy Mom Screams at Me for Not Helping Out in the ED When I Am Not a Part of the Emergency Team or Work There. Hi. I am a 28-year-old doctor and my specialty is in clinical chemistry, chemical pathology, biochemistry, and laboratory medicine, so I usually do not interact with patients much anymore. This happened during my specialization training and it still makes me shake my head. My colleague and friend in another department suddenly developed seizures in the middle of the night. Her husband contacted me as I often helped her before they were married, and I was taking a midnight stroll in the campus as I was on call for the lab. I went to emergency and got all her papers ready. My junior from my alma mater was studying emergency medicine and she helped expedite things. My friend arrived the same time another family involved in an accident arrived. Since my friend was still seizing, my junior asked if I could place an IV for the time being because they needed to look at the family involved in the accident while the neurologist arrived. No problem. The ED was extremely busy and I was ready to help. I did everything for my friend as one of the nursing officers handed me the anti-epileptic drug while her husband, also a doctor but in another hospital, stayed by to make sure she is comfortable. That was when suddenly the ED went dark and the beeping got annoying. JK. This mother, crazy mother CM, tapped on my shoulder. CM, hi, can you help me? Me. Hi, sorry. I am not an ED doctor but I can guide you to whom you should see. CM. Aren't you a doctor? Me. Yes, but I am not a part of the ED. I am here for my friend. CM. So? Since you helped your friend, can you take a look at my child? Me. I am sorry but I cannot. I cannot take responsibility as I am not a part of the emergency team and neither am I posted here. When my friend in the ED gets better, I shall ask her to take a look. CM. But you helped your friend. Me. Yes, because the team is busy with an accident and since it's my friend, all I did was set an IV so that she will be stable till they can come and check on her. CM. So why can't you help me? I am tired of waiting and my child is uncomfortable. Me. Tired now, lady. I am not an emergency doctor nor am I on duty. I cannot help you or take responsibility should something happen. Please wait for the emergency doctor to be free. Why don't you go to the registration counter? They will ensure someone looks at your child. CM. I cannot leave my child alone. Why can't you take a look at him? Me, sighing. Where is your child now and what is wrong? I cannot give any advice or do anything because I am not a part of the posted emergency team but I can inform them. CM. I need you to look at him, he fell down and is crying? Me. Just wait. Once a emergency doctor comes, I will send them your way. CM, now grabbing my arm. You will see him right now. Friend's hubby, pulling me away and blocking CM. You will leave her alone. She is not a part of the emergency team. Stop harassing her. CM. Help, help. They are assaulting me. A nurse charge, NC, finally ran in asking what is wrong. I knew NC as we are a part of the same Christian prayer group so she asked my side first. I explained about my friend and how CM was forcing me to help her son when I cannot. NC. CM, Op is a doctor but she is not posted nor a part of our emergency team. We needed her to help her friend because we are super busy but that is it. She cannot help you. CM. Stop giving excuses. You just don't want to help me. You, me. Now help me with my son or I will complain. Me, now annoyed, go ahead. I turned away as NC was dealing with CM as the neurologist had arrived and I had to talk with her and friend's hubby. I thought that was it. Wrong. As my friend got better and I was helping another nurse change the IV bag while she gave my friend another dose of anti-epileptic drug, my hand was suddenly pulled, nearly causing me to pull at the IV. CM had grabbed me. Me, now really angry. What the hell? You again? What are you doing? You nearly made me rip off her IV line. CM. This is the doctor who refused to help me. I want her license cancelled. Turns out she had dragged the emergency medical officer, the senior doctor watching over everything, to complain. The M officer blinked as she knew I did not work in the ED unless I was posted there, which I was not. M officer. She does not work here. CM. Yes, she does. She was fixing that woman's IV. M. Officer. She is a part of the hospital but she does not work on the ED. Since she is a doctor, she was just helping her friend, but that is it. She cannot look at your child unless I tell her to. CM. Stop lying. Why are you covering for her? She is the worse. Friend's hubby. M. Officer, take this lady away. My wife is not well and she has been harassing OP too much. OP is already going out of her way to be polite. M. Officer agreed and turned to CM. M. Officer. I saw your child. He is fine. We are swamped today, especially since we had an entire family be admitted here. If you continue to create a ruckus, we will ask you to leave and maybe even ban you. CM. But I did nothing wrong. It's her, me, fault. M. Officer, firmly, you have two options. You either leave them alone or you leave. CM left us along grumbling as I heaved a sigh of relief. My friend had recovered, so we decided to have her discharged and have her checked up in the morning. As we were leaving, we saw CM glare at us and mouth swear words at us, but we ignored her. Friend's hubby apologized, but I told him not to worry as none of it was his fault. Next morning, the story had spread in the whole hospital and my guide told me to be firm and not entertain people who were like CM. It's not very exciting, but it's not the first time I went through this. Since I have friends in the ED, I often go to see them and be treated so badly by patients and their relatives. God, some days I am glad I am in laboratory medicine and not in the ED. The next story is titled I Do Work Here. So some background. In 2020 I broke my neck. I was about a year in hospital. Long time in a coma and got reanimated and ventilated for a long time. This accident left me paralyzed from my chest down and like a miracle I have full arm and hand function. So I am fully independent but in a wheelchair. I managed to graduated law school and now I am a lawyer. This happened like a month ago. I was hired by an insurance company for a case where a disabled person committed fraud regarding medical equipment. Where I live, the defendant is on the left and the claimant is on the right. So I went in the courtroom and was rolling on my place, right. The judge was already there and the conversation went like this. M. Me. J. Judge. J. Good morning, you have to sit over there. M. I don't think so, not getting the situation. J. Believe me, I am doing this job a while now and I know where everyone sits. M. Baffled and just looking stupid. J. Can you please move now? The claimant sits there. M. Starts smiling. I got my robe out and put it on while smiling. The judge was extremely apologizing and got a bit red. We laughed it off and actually ate together afterwards in the cafeteria. Now I am not sure if she just wanted to be extremely polite or hit on me thing, as I am 25 and she is more like 35, but she gave me her number. The next story is titled I Trespassed, You Pay for the Damages. I'll call my colleague Dan, not his real name. Dan was a train dispatcher, now retired. The job requires us to make sure that trains can arrive and depart safely, at the right platform and whatnot. We're basically boss of the station, and responsible to ensure safety of people working on the tracks. Just to give you a little insight in the job. Well, Dan has 3 crossings under his control where the gates block the whole street. So to ensure that nothing is locked in on the tracks, there are cameras, no recordings, just a live picture, that need to be checked before he can allow a train to cross. There's always some idiots who think they can still make it, even when the gates are lowering already, and even though the traffic lights turn red before the bars even move. And so was our entitled dude, Ed, from here on, this time. He drove a very new, very expensive sports car and sped under the gates, but didn't make it. While leaving the crossing, the gate fell on his car. Both car and gate were damaged, but Ed wouldn't stop. He drove off just to get the cops and a lawyer involved. Ed actually tried to sue the train company for the damages on his car. Big mistake. Ed was laughed right out of court. Instead of being paid for his damages, he got a fine for trespassing, for driving over a red traffic light, and had to pay for the damages on the gate, and for his own car, of course. Usually nothing happens to those idiots because we can't track back who decided risking their lives would be worth 5 minutes. But this guy's greed dug him his own grave. The next story is titled Customer Tried Paying with Fake Money, Expected Me to Serve Him. Hi, I'm 17F and I work at Michael's the craft store. This happened the other week. I was on my lunch break shopping as a normal customer. No uniform or identification that says I work there, and this man comes running up to me asking me if I work here. I told him, yes, but technically not right now since I'm on my lunch and not being paid. He proceeds to ignore my entire sentence, and grabbed me by the arm. This man was probably his early 30s, and as I stated before, I am 17 and a very small female. As he drags me to the register, he's saying your cashier needs help and I've been waiting for my change for 5 minutes now. I ask him to please remove his hand from me before I drop the candles I was holding, and to his benefit he did. We make it up to the front and there is a long line with one cashier working. I proceed to just page on the PA system for backup. And go back to my lunch break. Next thing I know, the man's friend is coming up to me and also grabs me by the arm to drag me to the registers. I exclaim, "What is with you and your friend and your need to put your hands on me? Now please remove them before I get someone to escort you out." My manager then approached me and asked if I could hop on register for just a couple minutes and I'll get an extra 5 for my lunch. Annoyed, I do what she asks and hop on register and start ringing up the guy who grabbed me. He had a $3,000 basket of sewing lights and Visa gift cards and pulled out a wad of cash. So I took the cash from him and it definitely didn't feel right, so I put them through our bill readers and marked them with the counterfeit marker, and both showed up as fake bills. I proceeded to hand back all the money he gave me and told him that he needs to leave the store and that he's not welcome back, and I will be informing my manager and they will decide whether a police report needs to be filed. The guy fast walks out the door and I'll tell my manager everything and tell them I'll be needing 15 minutes more lunchtime since the guy took up 18 minutes of my time and wasted them. I didn't get the extra lunchtime. Side note. I know that this is for people who don't work at the store the confrontation happened in, but technically on unpaid time I do not work there and shouldn't be obligated to help. The next story is titled Helping Hand, Wholesome. I, 28F, went to the Star store for a few things for my grandma who had surgery. After finding some stuff for her, I went over to the frozen food section. Note that the Star store employees wear blue vests with the logo over black shirts. While I was wearing black to some extent, except for the team logo on my t-shirt, I wasn't wearing their blue vests. Initially disappointed that they ran out of my favorite Hungry Man chicken dinner, the one with the brownie, corn, and mashed potatoes, I found a couple things for myself, when this kind lady, KL, said, "KL, when you get done there, can you help me get something off the top shelf?" Me. "Oh sure, what do you need?" KL. I need the item she needed, and I need to get 2 of them. Me. Okay, goes to get the stuff she needs because she was about a foot shorter than I am. I may not work here, but it's still good to help. Helps place it in her cart there. KL agreed, thanked me, and off she went. And that's my I don't work here lady story. No big fight or police, but I'm proud of myself for helping her. The next story is titled Zookeepers Are Not Grocery Clerks. For background, I work for a zoo that's owned by the city and is part of the Parks and Recreation Department. We pick up produce from a local supermarket every day, which involves a zookeeper going into the back of the produce section and leaving with a cart of boxes. We never wear anything that looks like the uniform of the store. Our uniform is gray, and theirs is green. But people assume since we go into a staff-only area. Last time I was there, a woman stopped me next to a sale display, asking if the store had any more Fritos. I apologized, and told her I worked for the city. She responds, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know about the low-income housing in the area?" To which I mentioned that I work for the parks. We both had a good laugh. She cracked a joke about how we don't provide housing in the parks, and I pointed her to an employee to help her find her chips. Certainly not the most exciting story here, but we both had a good chuckle about it. The next story is titled I Don't Know Why People Think I Work at All These Places. I get questions asked to me that you would ask an associate all the time by random people in stores. It's not just one store. It's happened so many times, it's just all blurred together. The only times I remember with some clarity are the 2 most recent times, Walmart and a hardware store. Walmart. I was trying on a jacket, just putting it on my shirt I was wearing, out in the open with my cart nearby, and some fool came up to me and asked me something stupid I can't even remember now. I was just like, "I don't work here, dude," and put my hands on my cart after I threw the jacket in. Hardware store. I was picking up different trap and release animal cages and analyzing them, and some guy, WAAAAY down the aisle, called over to me and asked if I worked there. No. These 2 encounters happened on the same day. I think these people just expect you to help them regardless and don't honestly really care if you really are getting paid or not. I don't have a walk. I usually look like I'm lost in thought or am high when I am at a store. I don't dress like an employee. I usually dress like a meth head, if I'm being honest, cause YOLO. Like, there is nothing about me, besides maybe my age or something, that makes me look like I work at any of these places. WTF. Maybe next time this happens, I'll just start acting crazy or demon-possessed in front of them just to see how they'll react. Might as well have fun with it at this point. The next story is titled I Almost Got a Karen Arrested. So, I worked at Panda Express my senior year and didn't turn 18 until a few months after graduating high school, but my parents allowed me more freedom than most in my circumstance. However, I have a lot of fun stories from this time frame, but this was my absolute favorite. There was a Target next to where I worked, and I often stopped by to pick up snacks or sodas before work. Because my work shirt was red, I often got mistaken for a Target employee, but nothing like this. One particular summer day, I went to Target while on break to buy a new water bottle as I had accidentally broken mine during my shift and wanted to get it replaced. Corporate was really stingy and deducted money from our checks if we used the cups at work, and it was hot outside, so it was better to get a cheap replacement and a snack while on break. While I was wandering the store with plenty of time to spare, I noticed someone was following me. At first, I thought it was coincidence, but, after the fifth detour aisle, I realized she was following me. Being only 17, I was actually a bit nervous and finally mustered up the courage to face her. Me. Can I help you with something? Woman, Karen, it's about time. I've been trying to get your attention for forever now. I often wore headphones as I had severe social anxiety and didn't like being in public areas that were crowded like this. Me. Well, can I help you or? Karen. Is that how you treat your customers? Talk about poor customer service. I was genuinely confused until I realized that she, like so many people before her, had confused me for a Target worker despite the fact that I had a giant panda on the back of my shirt along with the company name. These types of encounters were normally pretty easy, but this lady wasn't having it. Me. Ma'am, I don't work here, Karen. Don't go lying to me like that. How dumb do you think I am? At this point, we had attracted the attention of a few employees, who called for their supervisor, S. As I tried to reason with this lady, the supervisor showed up and took over the conversation. S. Is there a problem here? Karen. This employee is walking around and ignoring customers. She was extremely rude to me, and I want her fired. S. Looks at me and sees the Panda Express logo on my shirt. Ma'am, she doesn't work here, Karen. Are you calling me stupid? At this point, she started towards me, and I backed away, trying to hide behind the supervisor while struggling to understand what her problem was. She reached around the supervisor and grabbed a fistful of my shirt before either of us were able to react. She tugged so hard at my shirt that it almost slipped over my head, and I started crying at this point. Karen. See? She's wearing a red shirt, so she must be an employee here. I want her fired. Me. Let go of me, please. Thankfully, one of my mom's friends, MMF, happened to be shopping that day with her kids and saw this woman holding me by the shirt. She immediately walked up to the woman with her kids, one of whom was my age, in tow, and proceeded to grab the woman by the arm. MMF. What on earth do you think you're doing? Get your hands off that child now. Karen pauses for a moment and looks from me to the woman and back again. She's not a child, she's a young adult. Me. Still trying to get free. I'm 17, lady, and, for the last time, I don't work here. At this point, you could hear a pin drop from across the room, and I thought that Karen was going to just let go and leave me alone. However, she huffed and looked away, commenting how being 17 practically made me an adult and was no excuse to act so rudely. MMF, the employees, and the supervisor had enough by this point and were already calling the police while my friend, who had seen me bullied all throughout high school, attempted to calm me down. MMF wanted to know where my mom was, to which I replied that she was likely at home since I had been working. Then I explained that I had come to buy a new water bottle after breaking mine. MMF actually paid for my water bottle and told me to go back to work so that I didn't get into trouble, but she also warned me that the police might be coming by to talk to me. I didn't think anything of this and did exactly as she said, knowing that I was never going to hear the end of it from my mom when I got home that night. As MMF warned, the police showed up at work later that day and asked a few questions, and my boss didn't seem to mind as I explained what happened as soon as I got back. I never heard what happened to Karen, but my mom told me not to let an adult grab me like that again as they could be arrested for assaulting a minor. If you enjoyed the video, Please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.